In terms of setting up the filter, we want to take the filter that comes in a bag like this and ultimately get it to where it looks just like this bucket here. And so the first thing we do is we ask the people for a bucket. And we ask that they provide a bucket and that we will provide a filter so that they have some sort of investment in the filter itself. A lot of times a bucket to us might not seem like a lot of an investment, but in a lot of these places where they're making $2 to $3 a day, it's a full day, sometimes 2 days wage, just to have a bucket, so it means a lot to them. And we want them to provide a bucket. So if they don't have access to one on hand, we ask that they would borrow one from a neighbor or get one, and we can come back to them later so that they, again, have that real financial investment in what they're receiving. So the first thing you'll do is install the hole in the filter. So you'll let them know that in order for the filter to work, that you're going to have to put a hole in their bucket and just make sure that's okay on the front end so that they see that they're not caught off guard by you poking a hole in it. So what you do is you'll take this handle and the drill bit. You'll take the drill bit out of the plastic, and all you do is pop the handle onto the drill bit. Next thing you do is you take the drill bit and you just place it to the bottom of the bucket. And you want the hole that you're going to make it to be about an inch to an inch and a half off the bottom, so that any sort of dirt that's in the bucket will have the ability to settle later on. So just turn it up, and then you use kind of some leverage there to just drill a hole in the bucket. It's important for guys to know that this is not a opportunity to prove how strong you are, how macho you are. So the people who are watching, we'll talk about it later. A lot of times the buckets are going to be older, and if you apply too much pressure, they might split up the middle, and at that point, we have now caused harm rather than helped someone out. So just apply some pressure and twist, and the hole will be made in a matter of minutes. The next thing we do is we install the hose. And a good thing to point out, all the instructions are on the back of our bag. So if you're distributing a filter and you hit a blank, then by all means turn over the bag and just look at the pictures, and it's not going to do any harm for you to look at the directions and figure out if you've forgotten something. So we also like to point out that everything we use in the filter distribution is theirs. So when we use the drill, they get to keep that, and we want them paying attention so that if for any reason they ever need to switch buckets put their filter on another bucket, they'll have all the tools necessary to do it on their own. And so that's why we really want them paying attention now, so that they know all the skills later. So to the next point, after we drill the hole, it's also important that you take the drill bit, and once you have a hole just like this, there's going to be some loose plastic around the sides. And so you can take the sharp side of the drill bit and just kind of scrape that off, and just make sure that when we do attach the hose, that there's going to be a flush surface on both sides. So once we do that, we grab our hose, and on the hose, you'll screw off this cap. So it comes off in two pieces. There's a pre-screen right here that you can let them know that once it attaches to the inside of the bucket, that keeps any sort of big debris from clogging up the hose itself. And then on here, there are two washers. And so you take one washer off and you leave one washer on. So just like this. And then you attach this to the outside of the bucket, like so. You take the other washer and you put it on the inside. And then you take this pre-screen and you twist it on. Okay? Let me do that real fast. So once you have your hose set up, then you teach them how to use the filter. And so what I like to do is say, all right, so this is what makes the water clean. This is what actually does all the work. And so you can see by looking at the filter, there's a blue arrow and there's a red arrow. The blue arrow shows us where the clean water comes out, and the red arrow shows us where dirty water comes out. I like to say that clean water comes in and out this side, just like dirty water comes in and out this side. That's important when we get to the step where we clean the filter. So if we're saying that the blue arrow points us to where the clean water comes out, that means we need to set the filter up just like this. So the hose attaches to where the clean water comes out the front. So you'll take off this little cap, just like so. And when you set up the filter, you'll see there's a little lip right here. It's important not to put the hose all the way up against the filter itself, because then it comes really hard to pull off. And you're going to have to take it off in a minute anyways to clean it. So just put the hose just past the lip there a little bit. That way it holds on, but it's also easy to take off. So you place the hose on, there's a little metal ring that comes with the filter that you can slide all the way up till it clicks. And then at that point, your filter is completely set up. It's really easy. So once the filter's set up, we ask them to grab some water so that we can show them that it works, and grab some dirt, throw it in the bucket. They'll pour some water in, and we'll make it really gross and filter it right in front of them. So once we filter it in front of them, we get a cup of clean water just like this, which came out of this bucket right here. And so we'll take a sip, let them know that like we trust it, that it's not something that we're just giving to them. It's something that we believe in personally. Ask them if they want to try it. And it's always the most fun part of the demonstration, seeing people light up when they get a chance to see the water filtered and taste it for the first time. And then from there, we teach them how to clean the filter. And so that's what I always tell people is the most important part of the whole thing. I always tell the people that, hey, like I'm going to quiz you on this, so I really need you to pay attention. Because if you don't clean the filter, it's not going to last. But if you take care of it and you do this cleaning every day, then it should last for years to come and be a great tool to keep your family healthy. So all you do to clean it is you take this syringe. I'm going to set this aside for now. You take this syringe and take a cup of filtered water. So that is key. You have to tell them that you need to use filtered water, clean water, to clean your filter. Otherwise, you're just pumping bad water into the filter itself, and it's going to make the problem worse. So take a syringe, fill it with water, with clean water from your filter. And then you take your filter itself, just like so. And like we said earlier, that clean water comes out with the blue arrow, which is this way. Dirty water follows the red arrow. So I'm going to take this metal part off. Take your syringe, you place it on the side that has clean water, the blue arrow, and you pump it out following the red arrow, just like that. And we tell people to do that 3 or 4 times or until the water comes out looking clear, like the water that's going in. And if they do that every day, then the filter will continue to work. And after you clean it, all you do is you set it back up just like you did the first time, and you can hook it up back to your bucket and you're good to go. So before I leave, I like to take the filter off, just kind of place it behind my back and then give it to them and say, all right, here's time for the quiz. Which way does the clean water come out? And allow them to hold it in their hands, look at it, and see the blue arrow and say, clean water comes out this way. That's great. And dirty water, where does it come out? I'll point to this side. And then again, quiz them, how often should you clean this thing? And I'll say every day. And what happens if we don't clean it? It stops working. So once they can reiterate the importance of cleaning it, it's also important to tell them, as you clean the filter in your bucket, you don't need to use boiled water. You don't need to use chlorine tabs or bleach to put any of that near the filter. All you need is clean water to clean it. So if they can do that, then all they need is water to fill up their bucket, and they can have clean water for years and years to come. And so from there, we then transition into the gospel. But as long as they understand this first and foremost, you're doing a great job.